Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to Counsel of the Day with Shanrae. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I do not own the rights to this song. I do not own the rights to this song. I'm going to get started momentarily. Yes, welcome to Counsel of the Day with Shanrae. And we're going to get started. This is our final evening for this series, this segment here. And I will see you all in May for our next quarterly segment. But this is our good evening, Audrey. How are you? I do not own the rights to the song. All right, we're going to go on and get started. The question is, do you believe in love? Yes. All right, we're going to go on and get started. All right, so as you come in, please like and share as you come in. This is our final night for this series. This is our final night, guys. And then I will pick back up in May for our next series. You know, I do these quarterly. I do these series quarterly, so let me turn this down. So as you come in, all righty then, and I'm going to go on and read my, I'm so glad to see you, Audrey. So good to see you. And I'm working multiple. Good evening, Crystal. How are you? I'm going to open up with my disclaimer. And then we're going to move on with our topic for this evening, incapable of love. Are there really people that are incapable of love? And we're going to delve into this, and we're going to move on from there. All right, so please be aware that due to the nature of the technology that I'm using, there can be no assurance of confidentiality when using this online service. It should also be noted that due to changes in policies that all replies are to be used as advisory and informational only and will not constitute an official determination. Information provided by myself or any other counselor or any other religious leader are subject to the limitations of current and available material. But the final responsibility for successfully achieving a goal does rest with you, the individual. Information online is designed to be helpful. However, this information changes frequently, and it is recommended that you will consult another physician, another specialist, another religious leader to aid in your overall behavioral wellness. So we're going to go on and get started. I'm sorry, and I'm looking from, I have so many different things that devices that I'm using. So Crystal, is so good to see you. Audrey, I'm so glad that you're here. And I see Miss Tiana Lemons. Hi, Miss Tiana, how are you? Okay, we're going to go on and get started. I'm going to switch over to the actual lesson on this evening. But the question is, are there really people that are incapable of love? Now, statistically, it has been proven that, yes, there are people that really are incapable of love. But I am a Christian counselor, so you all know from our faith, our foundational faith, that I strongly believe that no one is incapable of love. But I still have to give you the research and the pros and the cons of this theory here. And also, I want to give you different tools, ways to combat certain symptoms or some familiar type of symptoms, because I believe, and I strongly believe that everything has an answer. And yes, you can overcome every obstacle in life, every hardship, every type of trial. We can overcome. So our scripture for this month's series is 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 8. Hello, Tasha. How are you? I'm trying to see who else is coming in. Please like and share as you come in. And this is an open forum. So if you have any type of life experience, or if anything, any type of experience on the topic that we're talking about, please feel free please feel free to leave your comment, and we will discuss your comment, and we'll go over that from there. But the scripture is coming from 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 8, the NIV version. And it says, above all, Love each other deeply, because love covers over a multitude of sins. So, yeah, you all know that I'm going to give you definitions for everything. So I have three separate definitions for love. The first definition of love is an intense feeling of deep affection. The second one is a great interest and pleasure in something, which is a noun. And the third definition of love is to feel a deep romantic or sexual attachment to someone, and that is considered a verb. Now we're going to talk about unrequited love, or a one-sided love. I'm going to give you the definition for unrequited love. And this is a love that is not openly reciprocated or understood by someone. In other words, I'm going to make it a very simple definition for unrequited love. It's a one-sided love. It's something where one person is showing love and the other one isn't. So that's what that unrequited love means. Then I want to give you all the definition of emotional deprivation disorder. And emotional deprivation disorder, Crystal said blessings. Okay. She said blessings. This finding here of emotional deprivation disorder is actually a diagnosis of someone who is incapable of love. So yes, there is a diagnosis for someone who is incapable of love. It's called emotional deprivation disorder, and it is defined by being the difficulty to form relationships. The person is incapable of love, but still wants to have friends, or ends up with someone, but they find it difficult to connect with others, let alone sustaining that relationship that they have just formed. So that is what emotional deprivation disorder is defined as. I want to talk about tonight emotional safety and what it really means. About what emotional safety is and what it looks like. So let me give you a brief depiction of emotional safety. And it says, like your environment and home and who you're raised by are mostly a form of a sanctuary. You know, when you're a child, you're raised by a parent or two parents or grandparents or aunties, but this is still a form of your sanctuary. It's a place that you can feel safe from the world around you or what may be going on in other places outside of your home. So when something disturbs this sanctuary or your home, that is when our emotions go awry. They go straight, and we no longer have that feeling of stability or safety. So we're going to delve into what emotional safety looks like. Okay, so I'm going to read this. When emotional safety is present in a relationship, ideas and feelings can be expressed with confidence. So this is when emotional safety is present in a relationship. Okay, your ideas and your feelings can be expressed with confidence. But those in the relationship that feel physically safe, emotionally supported, and secure, this is what emotional safety looks like. All right, so emotional safety involves having a level of predictability and consistency in your emotions and in your behavior. For this to occur, it is necessary for you to have clear boundaries and expectations for you. In addition, when this relationship or this safety is damaged, emotional safety requires repairing. So repairing these relationships includes listening. You got to listen. Apologizing, and then forgiving people in this situation. So the following are qualities found in emotional safety relationships. All right. So vulnerability. That is something that's still in an emotional safe relationship. Disclosure, where you can disclose something private to a person. Hey, Chipper, how are you? When you can disclose something personal to this person and you feel safe and know it to stay right there. Honest feedback, not somebody telling you what they want you, what they feel like you want to hear, but honest feedback. and then absence of or reduced defense mechanism. So there's no defense mechanisms up when it comes to emotionally safe relationship. And then a feeling of love and connection. So I'm going to read these again. All right, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 different qualities that really do enhance an emotionally safe relationship. One is vulnerability. You can be vulnerable with the person or persons in an emotionally safe relationship. You can disclose. Number 2 is disclosure. You can disclose personal and private things with this person or people, and you don't have to worry about, being embarrassed. Number 3 is honest feedback. Someone always telling you what you want to hear, that's not good. That's not good for any relationship. You always telling somebody what they want to hear. And honestly, having honest feedback, it helps you as a person. It helps you grow. It helps you continue to be a better person. So in an emotionally safe relationship, honest feedback is always that's a great thing. Number 4, absence of or reduce when your defense mechanisms are down. You're not always on the defense. Your shoulders are not always up like this. You're not ready to what? That's when you're in a relationship like that and you always on the defense, that's not healthy. And number 5 is a feeling of love and connection. When people love you and you can love them right back. And it's genuine and it's honest. These are 5 wonderful examples, of being in a great emotionally safe relationship. So how emotional safety leads to lasting changes is 1, love. Love is the foundation of change. It promotes long-lasting change, while fear promotes short-lived behavioral changes. So emotional safety is essential for you to feel your love. Number two is spirituality. Spirituality fosters healing as we are able to connect with things larger than ourselves and with whom we can be accountable to. So a lack of emotional safety impairs our ability to have faith and to connect with things bigger than ourselves. Now, we faith believers, we know who we connect to. Number 3, family. Family is the most meaningful and influential relationship in facilitating healing. And emotional safety is a prerequisite for family love, for family trust, for family vulnerability, for family authenticity, and for family connection. So where we at? 1, 2, 3. Number 4 is positive values. Hi, Superwoman. How are you? And we're going to get to Superwoman in a minute. Number 4 is positive values. So positive values promote emotional safety when they are followed consistently. And so you may need to explore and reconnect to your positive values in order to rise above problem behaviors. So number 5 is your internal locus of control. And this means that you are aware of how you contribute to the emotional safety of you and to your other family members. And number 6 is self-esteem. So self-esteem is the result of successfully living by internal control and positive values, which leads to greater levels of self-respect, emotional stability, and relationship confidence. So each of these is a step in the process of change. And without emotional safety to pave the way, permanent positive change cannot occur. So how do you create emotional safety in your home and in your life? All right. Creating emotional, hi, Sandra, how are you? So creating emotional safety in your relationships and in yourself requires you to model the very thing that you are hoping to receive from other people. Okay, and this involves treating what you share as important, valuable, and consistently supporting yourself. So you have to share what's important to you. You got to share that with others. Your ability and willingness to look at yourself in your relationship with you and with someone else is a starting point in creating needed emotional safety in order to address behaviors, understanding beliefs, and help facilitate healing. So these are ways that we could create emotional safety in your home, in your relationship, and within your own self. Number one, and I'm moving quick because we don't have a lot of time, and I'm ready for people to open up and start talking about maybe some things that they have experienced with this. So number one, ways to create emotional safety is one, pay attention. Pay attention to when you find yourself using a certain tone of voice. You're displaying an attitude, or you're using language that is judgmental or overly critical or otherwise emotionally unsafe. Acknowledge this and then communicate your message again in a different way. So I'm a passionate type person. I can tell you personally, I'm a passionate type person. So I always display passion, as you can see. Passion when I speak. And but this may come across as maybe threatening to other people. So I have learned how to pay attention to the people that I'm speaking with, to make sure that however I'm displaying a topic, that it doesn't come across as threatening. Because again, I am a passionate person, and if I'm talking about a passionate conversation, I don't want it to come across as if it's threatening or I'm forcing something on somebody. So paying attention, that is very, 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 very imperative when it comes to creating a safe emotional space. Number two, practice empathetic listening. Practice empathetic listening. So as someone talks to you, or as you make sure your responses, like your head nods, that you have eye contact, and make sure that they demonstrate that you're understanding what a person is saying. Resist the impulse to give advice or to provide solutions. Express confidence in their ability to solve their own problem and to make good choices. So practice empathetic listening. We have 2 ears to listen with. This is how we was raised. We was given 2 ears so we can hear, 1 mouth so we can talk. So sometimes we got to close this mouth, and I'm talking to me first, and use these 2 ears to listen more. So the third thing is, I'm sorry, let me read this really quickly. Audrey said that my problem is that I don't know how to show love in a positive way. I can be very mean sometimes. Okay, Audrey. And I thank you for being honest. I really do. I thank you for being honest with this. And the good thing is that you actually recognize that you can come across as a little, like you said, mean, or a little, a little stern. I'll call it a little stern. These things that I'm talking about now, ways to create emotional safety. I want you to start practicing this, and I'm actually going to put this into our feed right now. I'm going to copy and paste it and put it in here. These things to help create emotional safety. 1, paying attention. When you find yourself being, like you said, a little stern or a little mean. Number 2, practice listening. And I'm going to put this in here for you. Number 3, Audrey, it says together, when you're together with family or friends or with someone else, identify and describe at least one family pattern that results in one or more family member feeling emotionally unsafe. Not safe, but unsafe. So discuss this with your person. Discuss this with your if you have a therapist, discuss this with them. And you're discussing this. You're welcome, Audrey. And I like how you're discussing this now, because this is the beginning of positive change with you talking this over. So you're discussing this now, which is a plus. It's a plus. But once you identify, which you have already, you said that you come across as mean. I'm gonna say stern. You come across as stern. Now I'm gonna put these in here for you to go on and start practicing to counteract this. The 4th thing says, when you're with family or friends or with somebody else, Identify a list of behaviors that are warning signs of an emotionally unsafe situation. So I want you to start looking at different things that start, you know, getting your pressure, your blood pressure to rise. And so we want you to make a list of stuff that gets your pressure to rise. Then discuss your action plans on how, or start thinking over your action plans on how you want to maybe react differently. I was talking with a friend of mine, and one of the things we were talking about are how certain actions cause reactions to certain things. And this is what we're talking about right here. When certain actions come our way, we have to learn how to make sure our reactions to the action is not threatening or explosive, you know, that way. So number 5 says, listen to and acknowledge feedback from other people without becoming angry or defensive or argumentative. Listen to their feedback. Now me, I can tell you, I failed in this area. I'm just ready to just go and tell you why I reacted. But even I have to practice this one, to listen to and acknowledge the feedback from my family members or friends or whoever like that, without listen to what they're saying without becoming angry or defensive or argumentative. And this is a part of life. You know, so this is something I know we can definitely overcome. And the 6th one says to discuss this issue of control in relationships with either your spouse or your significant other or another adult, or like you're doing now, Audrey, or to someone that's close to you. And talk about appropriate versus inappropriate control methods with yourself, you know, and what are the proper boundaries between you and someone else pushing your buttons, you know what I'm saying? To keep you self-controlled. So when is control emotionally unsafe and developmentally detrimental? So we want to make sure, since we recognize it, now we want to go on and we want to incorporate these emotionally safe practices. I'm actually going to go on and I'm going to put this in the feed now for those that are interested in some of these points here that were given, ways to create emotional safety within your home. I'm going to put this in here now, and I want you all to practice this. Some of it, you'll see some of it where it talks about children, but this is for people, not just for children, but this is for people, period. So I don't want anyone to sit there and think that this is just for, it's not. This is for people, period. I'm going to skip down because our time is moving by very, very quickly. So I want to talk about defense mechanisms. Defense mechanisms are patterns of thinking that we engage in to give ourselves psychological protection. Healthy defense mechanisms help us cope with trauma, stress, and challenging life circumstances. But however, sometimes we use defensive mechanisms to avoid unpleasant truths or realities about ourselves, painful feelings, difficult work situations, or to avoid taking responsibility for things that we should. So when we use defense mechanisms for these negative reasons, the process becomes very unhealthy. And then we suffer in our decisions and in our relationships. So we can become more successful in our lives as we understand what our defense mechanisms are and how we use them in unhealthy ways. So number 1, common defense mechanisms are 1, denial. We protect ourselves from some unpleasant reality by simply refusing to face or accept certain things about us. For example, an alcoholic might deny that alcohol is a problem in their life, even when everyone else around them can see the problems that it is causing. So denial is one thing. Number 2 is repression. This is essentially forgetting, but not forgetting permanently. Instead, the information is tucked away into the subconscious and has the potential to resurface violently anytime. So the forgetting protects the person from consciously dealing with painful circumstances and events. For example, someone experiences a traumatic event as a child and then tucks that information away because they was not ready to deal with it at that time. So even when the person is older, they repress the memory of this traumatic experience to avoid the painful feelings that come along with it. All right? So that is called repression. Suppression. This is a conscious process in which we choose to immediately block or suppress a thought or feeling in order to avoid it. For example, a person has angry feelings towards their brother or sister. But even though they need to express these feelings, they suppress them to avoid a confrontation. So there's a difference between repression and suppression. This is another common defense mechanism is a rationalization. So rationalization is when we try to convince ourselves and others that an unacceptable thought, an unacceptable attitude, or an unacceptable behavior is acceptable. And when we do this, they justify their thoughts and behaviors and avoid taking responsibility for them. So, for example, a parent, this is an example now, where a parent abuses their child and avoids the feelings of guilt and wrongdoing by convincing themselves that it's for the child's own good and that the child deserves it. So that's rationalization. And another unhealthy form of defense mechanism is projection. And that's when a person denies and avoids accountability for their own undesired feelings and behaviors by attributing them to someone else. For example, an angry wife accuses her husband of hostility towards her when the truth is that she's feeling hostility towards him. That's projection. Lily says repression can be dangerous and also suppression. You are absolutely right, Lily. Repression, forgetting something, putting it in your subconscious, to avoid the pain of it, that's terrible. But suppression is bad too, because explosive behavior will almost always happen when you suppress things. Have you all ever seen the movie with Adam Sandler, Anger Management? It was with Adam Sandler and oh my God, Jack Nicholson. And the movie is called Anger Management. What he did is he suppressed his anger. He suppressed it until he couldn't do it anymore. And when he blew up, it was explosive, and he always wound up in court before a judge because he suppressed his feelings so much to when they came out, it was terrible. He was beating somebody up. It was terrible. That was a perfect example of suppressing anger. This is Neva. Oh, okay, Neva. All right, Neva. Okay. Okay, Neva. This is another negative form of protecting yourself of defense mechanism. This is another one. It's called displacement. So displacement, this is when we discharge pent-up feelings onto less threatening people and objects, like a bullying. For example, a teen is angry at their boyfriend, but they're afraid to express it to them. Instead, she displaces it later on in an angry outburst towards her little brother. Bullying. Crystal, projection as will. Yes, Crystal. Projection as will. I like that. Denying accountability, that's an as will thing. You're absolutely right, Crystal. Yes, it is. Projection is an as will type of thing. That's PH dead. Exactly, Lily. Exactly, Neva. PH dead. Exactly. Reaction formation is another poor defense mechanism. And this is turning a feeling into its opposite. So toward of an unpleasant and unacceptable impulse. The person may replace it with its opposite. For example, a young boy hates his older brother for his accomplishments, praise, and attention. The boy turns this into aggressive love and praise, but his underlying feelings of hatred are still there. Oh my gosh. There was a movie called and I'm a movie buff, so I will always talk about a movie. 27 Dresses. It was called, I believe it's called 27 Dresses, where she was a bridesmaid. She was a professional bridesmaid. This is what the movie is called, 27 Dresses. And this woman she was always the matron of honor, or the maid of honor. And she had 27 different matron of honor dresses that she had in her closet. Well, her youngest sister came and wound up wooing her boss, her big sister's boss. The big sister was in love with the boss, with her boss. But her younger sister came into town. The boss saw the younger sister and fell over heels in lust, not in love, in lust for the little sister. They planned a wedding. The big sister said that she was, because this is what she was accustomed to doing, she was going to go on and she was going to plan the wedding for her sister. And this reaction formation is what took place. Oh, she praised it. Oh, this is my little sister. This and it, until the bridal shower. That's when everything came out. And she went overboard and broke up the engagement and everything, because her reaction formation turned into an explosive outburst of what she really felt. Okay, we have something here now. They talk about regression. Regression is another form of negative defense mechanism. So the method of reverting back to a behavior that was comforting, enjoyable, and protective in their youth as a child, but is less functional than more mature behaviors currently available. So often the experience of insignificant stress can cause one to go back to more childish coping strategies rather than face the more difficult task of responsible problem solving. Let me give you a perfect example. Crystal said her daughter is loving this topic. I'm so glad, Crystal. That's a good thing when you hear that a young person is enjoying topics like this. I want to talk about regression. I experienced dealing with a client, and we were going over some strategies, how they can start coping with actually reverting some behaviors that were not healthy with them. And so when we started, Lily, Neva said, love it too, Crystal. Came in late, but I asked you to rewind. Thank you, Lily, Neva, thank you. So as I was dealing with this client, and we were talking about some responsible problem solving, the client had a straight meltdown and had a temper tantrum, a complete temper tantrum, and said, I'm going to do what I want to do anyway. I'm going to do what I want to do anyway. Okay. There's nothing that you can do with that. If the person understands that their problem solving is not responsible, it's not responsible as an adult, but their reaction to it was a regression, I'm talking about a very grown person had a complete meltdown, a straight temper tantrum, and then it just it was over with. The counsel was over with. I'm going to do what I want to do anyway. Then that's your answer, and you will continue to get the same results. So that's what this regression is about. I just wanted to give you a personal example of this experiencing a regression with a client, and it is what it is. Another unhealthy defense mechanism is fantasy. It is normal and acceptable to fantasize, and it can be positive in many ways. However, fantasy and reality are two different things, and fantasizing does not resolve conflict or bring about self-improvement. Fantasy becomes unhealthy when it is used to avoid important real experiences and development. So fantasy is good, but then it's not good when you're replacing it with reality. Intellectualization and the use of a strictly logical or cognitive approach to life's experiences without emotions, which may be perceived as threatening, unpleasant, weak, etc. For example, a woman is told that she has a life-threatening illness. Afterwards, she focuses exclusively on the statistical percentages of recovery, and she avoids her feelings of fear and sadness. That is not good. Emotion is a part of life, good, bad, and indifferent. We're human. We're human. We have to feel. We got to feel. Okay, another unhealthy defense mechanism is identification. So increasing feelings of worth by identifying with a person, group, or institution perceived as desirable. We then lose our own identity in the process and merge our identity with the other person's entity. For example, a teen boy feels unacceptable by his peers and unsure of his worth. So he joins a gang. The gang accepts him and gives him a sense of power, meaning, and belonging, but requires him to do things that are dangerous. So this is not good at all. Identification, when a person starts taking on someone else's negative identity. Stuff. Compensation is another poor defense mechanism. Compensation. So this is a form of denial in which a person covers up weaknesses and avoids change and accountability by focusing on only desirable traits. For example, a student struggles with interest and motivation in school, but is a good athlete. So they focus all of their time and effort on sports and neglects their schoolwork. Now, I was in a church service. I'm not bashing, but I was in a church service some years ago. And I remember the person that was speaking, they was up speaking, the preacher at the time. And remember, preachers are human too. They still have to learn. And this preacher actually taught this compensation type of thing. And he told people, it was actually a topic on accountability with adults. And he taught compensation. He said, just focus, whatever you do, just focus on all of your good traits and forget about whatever negative traits that you're dealing with. And I was sitting in the audience like, ooh, that is not good. That's never the answer. When you just totally, I'm a singer. A lot of you all know that I'm a singer. But outside of singing, there's a whole lot of other things that I am as well. A counselor, different things like that. But if I solely just concentrated on my singing and neglected other things which would have hindered me, I would still be unsuccessful. Even though I can sing, I would still be unsuccessful in life. So compensation is never it's never a positive defense mechanism. And acting out, that's the final one. Acting out is reducing anxiety around forbidden desires by allowing oneself to act them out. Acting out allows a person to be impulsive, irresponsible, and out of control. So, for example, a girl is betrayed by a close friend. She acts out by cutting herself to express the emotional pain that she feels. Ooh, that's a whole nother topic right there, cutting yourself. Ooh, that acting out is not a healthy defense mechanism. So, you have to identify your defense mechanisms, healthier, and Crystal said truth, healthy or unhealthy. Once you have identified your defense mechanisms, you are most prone to practice being aware of when you might resort to these defense mechanisms if they're negative. and unhealthy ways. For example, if you often suppress your true feelings to avoid conflict, practice allowing yourself to feel those feelings and then bring them up with others that are involved rather than blocking them out. Okay? So we know about creating healthy relationships. I'm going to put something inside of our feed, and then I'm going to go back to this. And I hope that it comes out this way. I really hope that the whole thing comes out this way. And this is identifying your controlling behaviors. And I want this assignment. I hope that I can really, really, really get this whole thing in here like this. Oh my gosh, I hope it works. I'm going to see now if I can, because this is a wonderful assignment here. Give me 1 minute, guys. I know I'm multitasking with different screens. Did that go? Let me see something. Okay, so I put something in there. I'm getting ready to put an assignment in here that I want you all to, oh, I hope, okay. Well, you all see this. Let me see if it turned out. Okay, this was actually a graph that I have. Uh-oh. Yep, this is a graph that I have that I just put in here, and it says the controlling behaviors. And let me go over this really quickly. It was actually a graph, and the graph didn't come up in the feed, guys. But I want you all to overlook this. Audrey, if you're still on, I would love for you, Audrey, to look at this. And it says, identifying, loving this. Thank you, Neva. Identifying your controlling behaviors. So the controlling behaviors outlined above can sabotage these your relationships with anyone that you're trying to get close to. So this is identifying your controlling behaviors by copying. But I put the chart didn't come out, but you can make your own chart. And this should help you recognize when you use negative behaviors and then what you can do to stop using them to focus on building a healthy relationships. Audrey, and everyone else that's listening. But let me go up. Let me go above really quickly. To build a healthy relationships. This is it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things that I want to talk about. Then we're going to move. Audrey, I need this so much. Audrey, you're going to be just fine, girl. You're going to be just fine. I'm telling you, you're going to be just fine. You're at the start of your new beginning. So Neva says she always touch on what I am and have dealt with. All right now. Okay, so this is what I want to touch on with building healthy relationships. Number 1, accept that the topics of most major conflicts in relationships that they just don't change. So the way that we respond to these conflicts is what needs to change, our response. And this means stopping the controlling behaviors that are outlined, that are outlined below. Number 2, let's keep the conversations in the here and now. So avoid the past and future. I'm talking to myself because I will bring up the past and it's not good. Audrey said, thank you because I don't like the person who I am right now. That's okay. As long as you love the person that you love, who you are. Change is a part of life. And this is what we're doing. We're going to change. We're going to continue to grow, learn, and change for the better. That's all right. Because you're going to love who you are in the next 3 months. Watch what I say, Audrey. So keep the conversations in the here and now. Avoid the past and future. So instead of saying, I told you 1,000 times, you're always doing that. Or if you keep doing that, you will end up miserable. Keep the conversations in the present. You can say instead, it sounds like you made a mistake. Or what are you thinking and feeling? Or you might say, what do you need? Or how is this affecting you today? So these are different things that we can say. I love me, but I want to be a better me. You know what, Audrey? You're not alone. All of us want to be better forms of ourselves, but this is just the beginning. And I'm telling you, Audrey, you start putting these things in practice. In 3 months, you're going to be looking in the mirror saying, "Ooh, girl, I love the new me. I'm loving and I'm enjoying the new me." So I'm telling you, Audrey, this is the start of your new beginning, new you. Just do it. You can do it, girl. Number 3 says, focus on the person, not the problem. Focus on the person's feelings, their thoughts, and their experiences more than any problem. which can temporarily blind our visions. So for example, sincerely say that I sense that you're feeling, this way because you experienced this. Am I understanding you correctly? Show love and concern through your tone of voice and your body posture. Wait to have the conversations until you can be genuinely interested, kind, and patient. Give me one moment. Let me turn this off. Oh boy, our time moved very quickly. I'm gonna finish this and then we're gonna move on. So we're gonna focus on the person and not the problem. Number 4, you're gonna focus on the process of the conversation, not the content of the conversation. The process, not the content. You're welcome, Audrey. Focusing on the content is an easy mistake to make. You may try to get you into a power struggle and deliberately set up an argument if you focus on how things are communicated rather than what is communicated. So you'll find yourself winning more arguments. And this is because you're focusing on the relationship, not the dirty details. For example, you might say, the way you're telling me to do whatever seems out of character for you. So what's going on? So we want to focus on the process of the conversation, not the content of the conversation. And the 5th and final one is compromise with yourself. Compromise with the person. Rather than using controlling tactics to get them to do what you want them to do, work to compromise. And this could take a while, but don't leave until a compromise is reached. So let's move down to identifying your controlling behaviors. We have here, it's a graph that I have on my paper, but you all are going to have to do a graph. You're going to have to do your own graph. I'm sorry, the graph didn't come out. But number 1, it says ways that you control and sabotage. Number 1 says by criticizing someone. Number 2 says by blaming someone. The 3rd one says by complaining. The 4th one says by nagging. The 5th one says by threatening. The 6th one says by punishing. The 7th one says by bribing. The 8th one says by playing the victim. The 9th one says by ignoring the person or ignoring the thing. And the number 10 says by minimizing everything. Now, what we want to do is when I use it to try and motivate, it says in here, my team, but you have to put motivate yourself. So ways that you control or sabotage is the negative area. When I use it to try and motivate myself is the empty section of the graph. So ways I control and sabotage is by criticizing the person or criticizing the situation. You have to write in here a positive way that you're going to do this. So when you're using these tactics, instead of criticizing, the positive way is for you to look for the positive in the situation. Don't criticize, but maybe, like we said earlier, up above, let's look at the content of what's going on rather than whatever the negative details are. By blaming. Now, a second way that you can control or sabotage something is by blaming or complaining. Instead of blaming or complaining, I want you to write in the graph the opposite of blaming and complaining. Instead of blaming, just say, look at how can we change this situation? Complaining, we're not going to talk about it any further. It's not important. Different ways. We're just talking about different tools here. How we can make a bad situation better. It's not easy when we're dealing with different characters and personalities, just like it's not easy when people deal with our different characters and personalities. But if we can look at the person in general, if we can look at them, look at the good in a person, just like we want people to look at the good in us. I know that life can be so much better. It could be a lot happier. Things could be a lot easier. We can have better relationships. We can have a healthier lifestyle. Just more loving relationships. We'll learn how to love ourselves too, even better. And I really do strongly believe in our verse right here. where it says that love covers over a multitude of sins. I really believe that. But that love starts with us and it spreads abroad. So remember, love and good feelings are plentiful yet elusive. And elusive means difficult to find, or difficult to catch, or difficult to achieve. So love and good feelings are plentiful, but yet they're difficult to find and they're difficult to catch and achieve. But we have given you some strategies today and ways that we can find love and good feelings. And I have a lot of confidence in you all. I have all the confidence in the world that you all will find the love and the good feelings that you all need, because love starts with us and we can spread it abroad. Is there anyone that has anything that they want to say before I close out? And guys, this is it for the month of February. This is it. And I will see y'all in May. I do want to tell you all that Tina Hobson and myself, we will be doing a vision board class, doing a free private vision board class with 10 people. I think she said 10. She may extend it to a little bit more. If you all would message us, myself or Tina Hobson, let us know that you're interested. The class will be next Thursday at 7:30 p.m. We will do a private Facebook class with you, with the first 10 people that message us and tell us that you're interested in this vision board seminar that we're going to give for about 15 to 30 minutes. When you messenger us, we will accept you, and then we will give you your instructions of everything you will need for this vision board class. And then we will see you, Tina Hobson and myself will see you next Thursday on our private Facebook page at 7:30 p.m. Message myself or Tina Hobson. Let us know, the first 10 people, that you are interested in our private vision board seminar to help us get on track with this, with being the best, the healthiest, the most healthiest, most compatible, most joyous. I'm interested in the vision board. Okay, Audrey, please message myself or Tina Hobson. The first 10 people that messenger us, you all will get please messenger us. You all will get your private invitation and your link to come in with our private Facebook. We're going to have a private Facebook seminar next Thursday at 7:30. We will give you everything that you all the tools and stuff, let you know what you need to get for that seminar, and we're going to do our vision board for 2019 seminar. I thank you all. God bless you all. Until May, the question still arises. Are there anyone incapable of love? And I'm going to tell you every single time, no. No one is incapable of giving love, and no one is incapable of being loved. So again, good night, everybody. This is Shanrae, Counsel of the Day with Shanrae, and I will see you all in May. I'm going to end this with my theme song for this week. Do you believe in love? And I will see you all. Those that are interested in our seminar, please message us. Facebook message myself or Tina Hobson, and we will send you your link, and we will see you next Thursday. But until then, I will see y'all in May. God bless you all, and let's see if my song is going to play. I hope it plays. And if it don't play, I'll see y'all in May. God bless you all. Thank you all for coming to Counsel of the Day with Shanrae. God bless you and good night.